All right, guys, WrestleMania 40. This is this is kind of like a mammoth thing, but we'll play it by ear. But we have a giant match card. We have two nights. We have WrestleMania 40. We have the undisputed WWE Championship match between Roman and Cody. They have a tag team match on night one. They're probably going to be main eventing both nights. Let's just talk about that. Let's just start off with that entire thing. In terms of the tag team match, the singles match, what do we? Where is this? Where is this going? What do you think is actually going to happen in WrestleMania 40? Let's do it. Let's do it this way. What do you think? Who wins the tag team match? What do you think the rules are going to be if they win or don't win? And then who wins night two? And then we'll go around the room and then just kind of go from there. But David, what do you think is going to happen with these two matches?
Bloodline wins. Bloodline rules. Cody wins.
What do you think the bloodline rules are, though? Like that's what I don't know.
No DQ.
Lumberjack match.
I think it's just no DQ, and I think that
They got to drink each other's blood.
I think
Nah.
or whatever the hell those that might be in
First blood.
Yeah, freaks.
Yeah, we don't do that shit. This is America.
Proper company.
America, goddammit.
America, yeah.
Witchcraft.
Awesome.
So yeah, I think Cody will win in a Bloodline Rules. I think Bloodline Rules is going to be one of those matches where we're all standing up and yelling at the TV because so much shit's happening.
Yeah, I can see that too.
So you're saying fuck Roman Reigns, Hogan streak potential. You think Cody's winning the whole thing at the end?
I think so. I don't think it's something that should go to SummerSlam. I don't think it's something that should go to Madison Square Garden. If it does, it does. But just get this show on the road.
Yeah, start something else. What are you, Andres? What do you think is happening with these two? If you're a booker.
Honestly, I don't know because I've never seen the two main event guys wrestle the night before in a tag match, right? Like that's never been a thing.
I don't think anyone has ever had like a back to back, like a because they normally have a one night, so they have a WrestleMania 2 nights, and they're main eventing both nights, and the first match affects the next night's match, which I don't think they've done before.
Random, but no, if I had to like give a guesstimate, yeah, it's going to be a chaotic match. Everyone who's been involved in this entire main event, or these two, whoever's involved with these wrestlers right now, are going to be involved in this match. They're going to interfere. Doesn't matter what the rules are. I can see the Bloodline taking it. But then, yeah, Cody Rhodes going to be winning the next night because it has to. Because if he doesn't win, yeah, I mean, what the hell? Going this long, setting it up for this whole time, he has to take the belt from him at this point. But I did read something that there's like rumors speculating, and this is just a thought I had like literally today. Stone Cold might be at WrestleMania. And if he does, I feel like they're gonna set up maybe Rock and Stone Cold again for like the next WrestleMania, because Stone Cold also said I can go another fight. I can totally do another one. Rock and him are still relatively easy. They're an easy draw. I actually thought it might have been a thing at 40, like last minute, but no, I feel like they're gonna have them somehow cross paths in the back. One's gonna shoulder walk into the other one and be like, "Oh hey," and like start a little thing, Like it'll be like they're gonna plant the seeds and then maybe lead it up till next WrestleMania. That's something I see happening. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe they do have a little dispute, and then The Rock, and then maybe even Stone Cold comes out and like does something to The Rock, because it's WrestleMania 40. There have to be something huge. You can't just have a straight up tag match and then just be like, "That's night one," right? Like something has to happen. So I feel like
I'm honestly looking forward to like. And this is what Sean Ross Sapp said on Twitter, but whenever I'm like, yeah, you know what, yeah, fuck yeah, that's what I want to. I just want the most overbooked, crazy shit happening in night one and night two. If it's Bloodline rules, I want fucking family members we haven't heard of show up. I want people like Rikishi showing up. I want people who were on the independent scene and they're kind of vaguely related to them showing up. I want like you said, Stone Cold Steve Austin showing up just to give him a fucking stunner and then just being in the at ringside just helping out. I want like the most bananas, fucking fucked up crazy shit. But Chris, what do you think is going to happen? How would you book these matches?
I mean, for sure, just go all out. Definitely have Bloodline win, because like if let's say they lose that tag team match, then it's supposedly a clean match, right? Like it's a pretty straightforward singles match. But if it's like Bloodline rules, whatever that means, then that means a lot of shit can happen, you know, whichever way it goes. So I could see Bloodline winning the tag team and then Cody winning night 2.
Do we feel like Seth Rollins what do we feel like Seth Rollins' role is going to be in these matches? He's his tag team partner, but do you think he's going to screw him over? Do you think he's going to help him and actually be his quote unquote shield reunion? What do we think Seth Rollins is going to do in these matches?
I think he's going to be too beat up by Drew McIntyre and just be a liability the whole time.
Do we know is that a night 2 match, the World Heavyweight Championship match, or is that also night 1? At
this point, who knows? I don't even think they know.
Because I feel like if it's night 2, it'll be a good way, an easy way of explaining why Seth Rollins didn't beat Drew McIntyre, because he had to have a match before the night before. He's super beat up, you know, so like he's going into night 2 already kind of like at 50%. And so I feel like that's how I would view like their match. But I don't think that Seth Rollins would betray Cody, because I feel like they've already done that feud. Like they've been feuding, and I know it might make sense a little bit because he did hate his guts, and that's the first person he fought with when he came back to WWE. So there is a logic there, but I don't think that they're going to do that. So I think they are going to lose the tag team match, so Roman and Rock have some kind of win on them. And then on night 2, I think I honestly don't know. I think that Cody Rhodes is going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Roman Reigns wins. Do we think that the Rock is going to betray Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40? Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think that's pulling the trigger too quickly?
I think in Triple H's WWE, that's pulling the trigger too quickly. A pattern I've noticed is things kind of progress at like a NXT type pace, like Black and Gold era NXT, where things when you think it's happening, you're like
Carrying the stick and kind of like drag it out a bit more. Do you guys like that kind of idea? Do you like this long-term storytelling stuff, or do you feel like certain things should be wrapped up quicker?
I mean, I think like at least the Cody stuff, like
wrap up Cody, please.
Having him lose the initial match where people were under the impression he was going to win, and then dragging it all the way out to this point, like this should be the pinnacle, the biggest payoff kind of a thing. So if he loses, man, I don't know, that's rough. I've heard these rumors of like MJF popping in, like for whatever reason. I don't know where those rumors started, but somehow MJF fucks over Cody because AEW.
That'd be part of like that overbooking shit that I would want to see. Like, you know what? Fuck it. Debut like an AEW fucking megastar into this match.
I mean,
yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, also that like that's I just want craziness. But Chris, do you have any other thoughts? Final.
I mean, ultimately, I want to say Cody wins, takes the belt, ultimate payoff or whatever. With like end game style, everybody shows up, kind of shit. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I know they like their streaks too, and he's like super close to Roman's super close to beating Hogan's streak. So that would also not surprise me. Or is the streak thing more of a Vince McMahon thing and not a Triple H thing? I don't know. But
you know what my logic is, or my thought process is when it comes to that stuff specifically. Because he beats Hogan's record, but it's still technically not the longest ever. So if
No.
you're already beating Hogan's record, then you might as well say like, well, it's still not the number one. You know what I mean? So what, you're gonna have him for like another 2 years or whatever the next reign is. So that's why I feel like for me, like just let him end it right here. I don't think it should matter because like if he beats Hogan, then he's still not number one at the end of the day. If we're looking at
Number
making records.
two.
Yeah, you're still technically number two, and people can beat you over the head with that every single time. Like, oh yeah, you're like you beat Hogan's record, but you're still not number one. You're still not
Was it
the
Bruno
longest
Sammartino,
reigning
right? Number one,
champion
right?
ever.
Yeah.
I think it was Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, for like
It is.
5 years, 6 years. I don't know if I remember.
In a time when wrestling wasn't what it
It wasn't
is
like weekly
Yeah,
shows.
it wasn't like what it is now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like an actual like year event, where he showed up like maybe like currently Roman Reigns,
I
or
mean,
even less.
And then like Hogan was just so much of like mainstream, where it's like,
Yeah.
like he he held that streak because the WWF at the time needed that.
Right. And I don't think
Right.
WWE needs that right now because they have such a crop of people. And I know that the logic is because they want to freshen up the books, but Roman Reigns is already like number 3 is still pretty damn good. And again, if he gets Hogan, he's still number 2. He's not number 1. So if we're following that logic, okay, have him. And I don't want that to happen, but all right, have him like break Bruno Sammartino's record. But I honestly hope that Cody wins because if he loses again, I don't know what because some people say like, well, he lost. He's even bigger than he was before. And then if he loses again, I mean, do we feel like that logic follows that he gets even bigger if he loses twice? Maybe. I don't know. But if he's a back-to-back loser, I mean, I don't know. But he's also back-to-back Royal Rumble winner, so I don't know.
Just want him to keep winning Royal Rumbles?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's gonna win the 3rd in a row. Did anyone ever win 3 Rumbles in a row?
No, but there were people who won 3 Rumbles, like Steve Austin.
Yeah, Steve Austin won 3.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know who else won 3.
I would say just based on the logic of like the Roman Reigns promo, like how he was beating Cody over him being a number 2, like it would just literally just be that if he wins, but he's still technically the number 2 of the overall streak. So I think they see that. Hopefully they see that. You know what I mean? Especially if that
I
was
don't think it's necessary.
a written.
But we'll
promo.
see. I wouldn't be surprised if he retained.
Actually, if anything, if Cody somehow does lose, the only way to really make him bigger going one more year into the next WrestleMania is he would have to be like the undisputed champion. He would have to go into the main event with the other world title with him already on him. And then win the Rumble somehow. I don't know how that would work, but it would be like he would have to have like every accolade in that year and win a Slammy. And
yeah,
that's the only way. Because what else can you really do if you lose again? Like, oh man, like I don't know. I have no idea. I would even hate to think like, what could they think of if he lost? That's just not a good idea.
I mean, I think it's not scary. It's weird, but I think it's also interesting because if he loses again, then I'm like, okay, well, I'd be curious to see what Triple H and the creative team have. If they're like, all right, well, we're gonna have him lose again, but we'll show you like why he lost. So it'll be interesting either way because then it's like, well, Cody's now the champ. Now what? Now who does he face? I mean, he's got a whole roster of people he can feud with. And obviously, Roman Reigns was the champ for like 3 or 4 years. He obviously needs a rematch, right? Like, you can't be like, oh, yeah, nah, you're not getting a rematch.
You got to work your way back up the rankings, kid.
Yeah, sorry, kid. You got to go
he's
back.
He's taking time off. He's going to be taking
some
time off. I mean, he's kind of already doing that. He's part-time with at least wrestling, right? So...
Well, we're still talking about world titles. Let's jump into the world heavyweight match, championship match with Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. If we take into account that, if we assume that it's going to be a night 2 match, who do you think is winning this match?
CM Punk.
CM Punk. I agree.
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Andres, who do you think is winning?
CM Punk. Yeah, I agree. I think Drew will probably take it this time. For sure.
I want Drew to win because he deserves it in front of a whole crowd, and his character is just so entertaining. Just elevating him a little more with that title belt will just make it on a whole other level. Do we think that CM Punk is going to be involved in this match?
Yep.
Yeah,
How is he? How is he involved?
some kind of interference.
Special ref. Maybe a special ref.
I
I mean-
saw that too, that he could be a potential restaurant.
I mean, that announcement, I'm guessing, is going to be tomorrow.
That he's a special referee.
That's true.
Who's
They
going
could
to make the
definitely drop that on
announcement?
everybody.
Adam Pearce is going to make the announcement that he's special referee.
I mean, he's
No,
going to
CM
come
Punk
out in the
himself will
ring.
come out and be like, "I'm going to enter myself in."
No.
He's just going to announce himself, and Adam Pearce is going to be like, "Okay, cool."
He's gonna
We
be
need
like,
my good arm to
he's
count to
like,
three.
I'm showing off my collision power.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's like, I still got one good arm. I could count to 3 with this arm.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's going to be the promo, too.
that'd be good to make that announcement. Like CM Punk himself saying that. I mean, he's going to cut a promo. You know, it's going to be good too. So I'm assuming.
He better not cry.
He's going to cry.
If it's legitimate and stuff, like, because okay, one thing you can't deny is that CM Punk is a really good talker. And
Oh, yeah.
the way, like, when he talks he talks as a regular person. He doesn't talk as if he's like on stage on Broadway at a matinee, and he's like reading off a script, and he's being super, like, verbose and bombastic. Like, when he speaks, he just speaks like a regular person, and when he's doing his promos, it just feels like it's coming from the heart. So, like, when he was talking about, like, his injury, and he brought up, like, his friend from I think he was the singer from not Pierce the Veil, or maybe it was, I forgot. But one of his friends is going through cancer. He's a singer from a band, and I thought, I mean, I thought it was really emotional, but I thought, like, I really felt that, because it felt very sincere. So he's just really good at that. But I honestly think, and I hope, because it just seems like such an obvious thing, is to have him be a special referee. Because Seth Rollins doesn't like you. You don't like Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre doesn't like you. You don't like Drew McIntyre, and you are in control of who wins this match. Like, that just sounds like a fucking given. And not only that, but tie it in with WrestleMania or WWE 2K24. They got a new feature of a special referee. So you'd be like, brought to you by WWE 2K24, special referee matches, like, if you're looking from a business perspective. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to be a special ref. And for whatever reason, he's going to have Drew McIntyre win, which I think will be, like, kind of sticking in Drew McIntyre's craw. Like, he won, but, like, it was also kind of from the help of CM Punk. Like, you won, and the guy you hate basically let you win. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just another layer of story. All right, next one, the women's championship match, IYO SKY versus Bayley. So this has been built up for a while. I felt like the writing on the wall of them betraying Bayley has been there for a while, and they finally pulled the trigger not too long ago. But do we think Bayley is at winning this match?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Like, I don't see why IYO SKY would retain at this point. I like IYO SKY. She does good matches, but in terms of Triple H's delivery of IYO SKY as a champion, it feels transitional. You know what I mean? Like, she hasn't been, and maybe it's partially because English is not her first language. So, like, promos and that kind of stuff, like, you're kind of working around that. I don't want to say limitation, but you know what I mean? Like, they've had video packages with subtitles, and I think that's a really good tool that they should be using for people who aren't English speakers first, because it just allows the audience to kind of understand these characters, and allows the wrestler to emote in a way that's the most comfortable for them. So it's a good tool, but I still think that IYO SKY as a champion wasn't presented as well as she could have been. So I do think Bayley is going to win it, but she also deserves it because she hasn't really had a main event match like this before, and she deserves her flowers. Like a lot of people have said, Charlotte Flair has had her time in the sun. Sasha Banks has had her time in the sun. Becky Lynch has had, like, her main events, and I feel like Bayley is that, like, last of the 4 horsewomen who hasn't gotten that kind of push. If from like a baby face perspective, so I think that she deserves it and she should win it, you know. And I would like for her to main event one of the WrestleManias. I understand the gravity of the tag team match and that and why they'd be the final match. That makes perfect sense. But on the other hand, I would like for, you know, a women's match like Bayley, for example, who's been in the company for 10 years plus to, you know, have her final main event. But we'll see. Okay, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. We're on women's matches. Who do you think is winning that one? Is Rhea retaining,
Rhea Ripley,
continuing
baby.
that streak?
Fuck out of here with that Becky Lynch ass shit.
I mean, she's got a book, so she's promoting a book. Maybe, you know, now she has a belt. She can promote
Shove
a book
it.
and belt.
Use it.
Not feeling it?
Nah.
Honestly, I feel like Rhea Ripley should hold that title for almost as long as Roman Reigns. If not as much. Honestly, fuck it. Like, make her be like the female Roman Reigns. Like, have her be that dominant, because there aren't that many people who can really go toe to toe with her. If we're just looking at it from pure stature, strength, and in-ring wrestling ability, like Becky Lynch, I think will put up a good fight, but I don't think she's going to beat Rhea Ripley. Nor should she. Honestly, she doesn't need it.
No.
I think Rhea Ripley needs it more. Like she's there, but she just keep building her up and make her be this unstoppable force. Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. This one, I'm not really sure who would win this. Do you guys have any inkling as who you think can come out on top to be the United States champion?
Randy Orton, baby.
You think so? Or is that just kind of like a fanboy wish? Do you think it's actually happening?
What, Randy Orton?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could see him. I mean, Logan Paul. I don't know. You know what? I'd probably say Logan Paul, to be honest. Randy Orton. I think it would be interesting to see Randy Orton with like a mid-card belt at this point in his career, and I think just the fact of his legacy, it might add a bit more prestige to the belt.
I mean, it was
itself.
like John Cena when he had the United States Championship again. It was kind of like
right, or
similar.
Rey Mysterio, right? Yeah. So maybe it could be one of those things where, you know, he has his run, and then he runs it back on Logan in SummerSlam. Logan wins it back or some shit. You know,
Cleveland.
Yeah.
I feel like because it's a triple threat, there were these kind of like inklings of like maybe Randy Orton and Kevin Owens have like this beef or whatever. So I feel like that might spill into this match, and they'll be distracted enough where Logan Paul kind of sneaks away with the win. So I feel like Logan Paul's going to retain, because if you're having SummerSlam in Cleveland, you might as well have him be champion going in to Cleveland, Ohio. At the Cleveland Browns Stadium. I told Patrick, I was like, hey, you want to visit your parents in Cleveland around August 10th or so, or whatever it was? Because it's not far. It's like 15 minutes from their house.
Nice.
But yeah, but I think Logan Paul's going to retain. And honestly, as he should. I don't think they're going to have him lose with a prime bottle on the mat. Being knocked out with a prime bottle right next to him. Okay, quick aside. Where do you think the prime bottle is going to be placed? Do you think that same logo that they showed is going to be the same logo that's going to be at WrestleMania? Because they're going to debut at WrestleMania, right? Like, it's not like there's...
I hope not.
Didn't they say it was going to be the center?
I don't know. I mean, because I also thought because they're still partners with Slim Jim and C4. Do you think they're just going to shove all of them on top of the mat, or do you think it's just going to be
one in each corner?
I don't know. I mean, like it'll look like a UFC mat, right? Because like the UFC basically has like shit around the corner, and they have like one. What is it, like a bigger sponsorship in the center? But either way, they have more than one. Just that's what I'm kind of foreseeing this mat.
Put them in like the four corners of the ring. Like, why put that shit? Or at least, okay, if you're gonna
dead center, that's Cody Rhodes kissing the ring as a prime bottle.
That shit blows me. I can't. Like, how do they not see the fucking read the room as far as like what it looks like as far as like moments are concerned. Like rewatching the damn WrestleMania and you just have this fucking, you know, Prime logo bottle specifically in the middle of the fucking ring. Like going back to like a thing, a reel or whatever of just like WrestleMania moments. You have this fucking Prime bottle in the middle. Like what the fuck?
I don't know.
I seen a meme where it was when Taker threw
Mankind through the cell. There's a Prime bottle, yeah.
A Prime bottle.
Exactly. It's literally that, isn't it? Like, I mean, like, the potential.
Here, I have an alternative view on this because I feel like because for the longest time there has been nothing on the mats that it's a weird concept, and the only time they've really had it was like when it was WrestleMania 12, and maybe there was a few other ones where it was like the logo and it was kind of faded, so it kind of blended in with the mat, so it wasn't as big of a deal. But I think what it is that it's like just the initial concept, because it's never happened before, and Vince McMahon's reason was because he felt like the squared circle is a sacred part of the ring, so he wouldn't put some kind of logo on there.
Vince McMahon was right.
Clipped, canceled. This is the first clip that's going out. Vince McMahon was right. No context, no nothing. About what? Who knows? We'll leave that up to your imagination. But yeah, so I think it's the initial thought, like, or the concept, because like if you look at a UFC match and you're looking at these, if you're looking at their matches and like their victories and stuff, you don't think about the logos necessarily when they're doing it because it's kind of part of it. So I feel like it just has to be in the match consistently, or at least more frequently, and then people will just be used to it. Because yeah, I mean, it's a little kind of nuts. You've never seen it before, and now there's a fucking Prime bottle or V8 or fucking I don't know, Trojan skins, you know, like whatever box like on top of it. Like it's weird initially, but I think if they keep implementing it, it'll be more normal. And if it gives them more money, I say why not? Maybe it'll feel more like quote unquote legitimate because it's kind of like a UFC ring. They're more uniform with each other, and they're both owned by the same company. So, you know, I think the perception is going to shift eventually. But I understand that, you know, you might not want to see Cody Rhodes winning with, you know, melon freeze Prime or whatever the fuck bottle on the ring. But
Stone Cold in a sharpshooter bleeding out, and you just see this fucking Prime bottle and shit.
Or C4 black cherry freeze or whatever the fuck.
Here's the compromise though. Like if you're gonna do some kind of branding shit, just do the name, like the font. Just put the fucking font in the middle, not a whole fucking bottle. That shit just looks goofy as fuck.
My issue is that I thought the design is goofy. It just looked like a cartoony bottle. Like if it was more, I don't know, sleek or something. If it was just like the name, I wouldn't be opposed, but it just was like a goofy blue, red, rainbow, round fucking bottle. Like I don't know. Like it looked weird.
It looks like a sticker a middle schooler puts on his iPad.
Yeah. There you go. Or like, you know, like those rocket ice cream fucking things you get from an ice cream truck. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of looks like that. But if you get, if they get like Klondike to sponsor them, cool. But just have like the polar bear with Klondike on it. You know, don't have like the whole fucking ice cream sandwich in the middle of the ring. So now I kind of want to do memes of just like random ads in the middle of the ring.
Well, AEW did like DraftKings, like, right? They had it like.
I think WWE did DraftKings too. They did it on the barricades.
Yeah, they had it in the corners of the ring.
Corners.
Yeah.
And
WWE did
it
too with like Slim Jim, and yeah, I mean there are ways to advertise it like they did. I mean they've already done it with like Royal Rumble when it's C4, they count down and the 4 turns into fucking C4. You know, so
addicted.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you know,
crack.
There are ways to do it, but again, I guess it's just up to the highest bidder. So. We think Logan Paul is probably going to retain, but we hope for Randy Orton, but we'll see. Intercontinental Championship, Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I don't think Sami Zayn's going to win. I'll just be honest. I don't think he's gonna win. Do any of you think that Sami Zayn is gonna beat Gunther?
No, I fucking
Anyone have
hope
a
not.
good reason?
I think it'd be a waste. I think
I think
Gunther's
so
in a,
too.
I think Gunther's in a funny place where if he loses, it needs to mean something.
Yeah.
No offense to Sami Zayn,
Right.
but I mean the guy's a WrestleMania main eventer. So
If it was Chad Gable, because like you said, because Sami Zayn is a main eventer, I don't think he needs it. Now, if I'm being honest, when Sami Zayn was gone for a little while after that whole bloodline thing, and he came back, I did kind of feel like he wasn't main event-ish. It felt like he was just kind of in the purgatory of not being. And I wasn't sure where they're gonna put him. You know what I mean? Like he was just kind of there. So I don't know. Sometimes if for me it felt like, he wasn't main event status. But once he got in those matches with like Gunther and he went back on the microphone again and he reestablished himself as a wrestler and as a person, I was like, oh yeah. You're a top tier person. So now after he did those promos and things and won these matches, I don't think he should be winning because I'm back to that position of he's a main eventer. And I felt like Chad Gable, he just needs it because I think you keep building up more stars, and a guy like that who's been with you for a long time, like you kind of forget. Like Chad Gable used to have a fucking bandana with long hair and shit, and then he had all these evolutions, and like you said, he does really good matches. I think he should take the belt off him. I don't know, and have Gunther then. Or you know what? You know what I think the best thing would be? He retains and then he just vacates it because he's like, you know what? I don't think anyone can beat me. I want to go for the world title, and I'm gonna let you guys play with this title, and I'm gonna go for the world title. I feel like that can kind of make him even more of a badass. Or you know what? Have him hold both championships. Have him hold the Intercontinental and the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship, whichever he goes for. So he's a main event caliber star, and I think he's going to be going for that after WrestleMania. All right, Jey versus Jimmy, the twins, the Usos, Us versus Us. Are you guys hyped for this Uso match? Do you feel like this was the right thing to do for them? Who's winning?
Jay's winning. Yeet.
Yeah, Jay's winning.
Yeet.
Well, what is it? Okay, what does Jimmy do if he loses? Where does he go from here? Because I don't know. He's kind of spinning his wheels too.
He's just gonna be a henchman again.
Solo Jimmy henchman squad.
Yeah.
He'll be like, what was that producer, the Southerner guy?
Jim
with the
Cornette.
mustache. No, he was like the goon, the two goons at WrestleMania 31 that they blacked out in WWE 2K24. I forgot his name, but he's currently a producer for the
Jamie
show.
Noble.
Thank you. Yeah. He's gonna be like a Jamie Noble character.
Oh,
So, because honestly, I don't know. Like Jay is now in another like level stratosphere, and then Jimmy is kind of being bloodline sidekick still. It feels like when you do that, when you do Jay and Jimmy and then you actively put Jay into this different position with the shirts, with the winning, and then you got Jimmy who's still stuck in the bloodline, not doing jack shit really. Like if someone's looking at them objectively, you can tell like, okay, yeah, you're the shittier one and then you're the better one. And if he loses at WrestleMania, you're just stamping him as the shittier one. You know what I mean? Like that's just like yes, you are. You lost again. The better Uso won.
The hair.
So I'm gonna be curious to see what happens with him, how it ties in with the bloodline. The bloodline kind of still runs through this WrestleMania. Not as much as before, but it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. All right. Not last match, 2 more matches, and maybe we'll see if you guys think there's an additional match as another prediction. But the Tag Team Championship 6-pack, tag team ladder match. So mouthful, but I think it has the potential to be match of the night or the week. I feel like it could be like WrestleMania 17. We currently have the New Day, the Judgment Day, we have
The band.
DIY. Does Regeneration X exist? I don't know, but they say that they exist, but then they're in two separate tag teams. So, and you also have the Awesome Truth. So you have currently two vacated spots, two spots that are still open. Right now, we have Austin Theory and Grayson Waller moving on to face the Street Profits on SmackDown, and one of them will potentially be part of the match. So, who do you, with all that information in mind, who do you think is going to win this tag team 6-pack ladder match?
Awesome Truth.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
There's a lot of truth to move around. And I think that'd be the best way to keep him on TV without having him be extremely silly, like say like the 24/7 or dance breaks, things like that.
I agree with you.
Dance breaks. Rikishi made a living off of them.
Hell yeah. I mean, the whole fucking, too cool. Anyone else? Who's winning?
I'll go on a limb, but maybe New Day could probably pull it off too, because they're pulling like a different kind of side of them too. Like Xavier Woods is kind of like digging into this like more like aggressive style of himself. Like they're wearing jeans. Like they're coming out with like knee pads over their jeans and just being more rough and rugged looks with him.
They're mad at Imperium.
Maybe they're going with a new persona and being
That's
like,
I don't know,
business
like, outfit.
Yeah, but it's funny because like if they come to WrestleMania, remember they always had like such extravagant outfits. Like they came out in Saiyan armor. Like if they're doing like this look now, like it's just not going to be as nostalgic. But I don't know.
I want them to win purely because of their video game outfits and shit. Like that'd be a main reason why. But you know what, David, you make a good point, because I feel like if you're looking at it from a storyline perspective, R-Truth is kind of like the glue that is kind of connected to different of the different parts of these tag teams. You got Judgment Day, he interacted with them. DIY, he interacted with them. I mean, Awesome Truth, you got Miz. So basically, like 3 of these 4 or 5 tag teams he's kind of already involved with. And I don't think they want Judgment Day to necessarily fade away from the tag team championship scene. So if there was a winner, I do think that, I mean, it's also be great. Like Miz, R-Truth, they have been there since, I mean, like on and off, but since like 2005, basically.
Earlier for Truth, he was in the Invasion.
Yeah. Was it K-Quick? I don't know what
K-Quick, with Road Dogg.
Yeah, and then he was Ron Killings in TNA. I mean, that guy, I mean, he fucking deserves it. Like, I think he should have had the WWE Championship. And he had that really brief feud. Was it with John Cena? I don't remember. Yeah, but he had that really brief feud in like 2011 that I thought he was doing great. And he had the Little Jimmys and stuff. And I think he brought up Little Jimmy's like this past year. And I love those Easter eggs. But
Little Jimmy,
he deserves it, honestly. I think he's in his 50s. He's still fucking on top of it, doing awesome. Like the way he moves in the ring as if he was still moving like if he was in his 30s. He's been entertaining the whole year. He's been consistent.
I recently watched like clips on Twitter of him versus La Parka in Mexico in like 2004.
Yeah.
And it's like he's literally going through like some of the same steps that he would now and like hitting with the same fluidity.
Yeah. Identical.
Like, holy fuck.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, some people, it's just, thank God for genetics, but, he has it all. Like, he can do promo work. He can still move. He deserves, like, a main event win at WrestleMania. And this tag team match is I think it's one of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most. I'm also curious to see who's going to be filling those final 2 spots as of this recording.
Dudley boys, Hardy boys.
You think that'll be the final? No, they can't be both. I think there's one extra spot, but I don't know. Is there a Raw tag team? There isn't. I don't think there was a Raw tag team match qualifier. And on SmackDown, I'm pretty sure it's only either going to be Austin Theory and Grayson Waller or Street Profits.
Yeah.
So there's one spot open.
There could be a guest. Maybe because there's usually these guest characters that show up for WrestleMania. even just for like a match, don't they?
I think it's
Like Shawn Michaels, Mankind did
Well,
it.
you know what? No, it can't be the Dudleys because I think Devon has an actual like issue, like career-ending injury, like he can't do it. So I don't know if you can't put him in a ladder match. Like that'd be fucking crazy.
AEW would do it.
Yeah.
They would, but he wouldn't agree to it. It doesn't. It doesn't sound like it, but I don't know. We'll see. And the Hardys are still signed to AEW, right? It's not like they left, or did they? Is their contract up?
Was
I
it
Be
think
random.
Matt? Was that like a Raw or some shit?
I think Matt just had the privilege of being able to show up somewhere else, and some asshole brought out a camera.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, like Bayley did show up at it. I think she did end up showing up at AEW for
She was.
Mercedes.
Yeah.
And
She was up there.
I think they have a silent agreement to not pull no camera bullshit like TNA did with the Highlander back in the day with Robbie from the Highlanders and.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Highlanders. I kind of triggered a memory.
Damn.
Like TNA did that, and like they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that shit.
Does the Money in the Bank briefcase apply to tag team belts?
Who knows?
I don't see why not, because you know what? Austin Theory fucking used his for the United States Championship.
Dork.
Like he didn't use it for the title, so why not? But like it's also a tag team. I don't know.
I could see that. I could see like R-Truth winning, and then he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna put that shit in," and he puts one over on Truth, and then they retain.
You don't think you're saying Damian Priest is cashing it in that same match?
Mm-hmm. Like let's say R-Truth, pins whoever the fuck, and their championship, just like the TNT thing that happened, and then he's like, all right, fuck it, ring the bell, whatever, and then they gets one over on R-Truth or whoever the winning team is. Whoever wins though, like fucking switch that ugly ass design though. Those fucking belts ugly as fuck.
Because they're also so you know what the other issue is that some people are saying that they're going to use this match to split up the tag team belts again instead of it being undisputed. I think that's a bad idea because there are a good amount of tag teams, but I don't think there's enough for it to warrant like two separate tag team titles.
Hell no. And they look ugly as fuck with the fucking Trojan helmet, whatever the fuck.
Red and blue,
Penny.
Silver Trojans.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but I don't think that they need two sets of tag team belts. I mean, also, especially if you got like one set of women's. I don't know. Just keep the one set of men's for some consistency. So I'm curious to see who's going to be the last team. I think personally that Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are going to beat the Street Profits. And I think Bobby Lashley is going to be without a WrestleMania match again. I don't know what the hell he's doing. So we'll final match, and then we'll see if we'll go over if there's anything else that we think might pop up, like if they'll create a last minute match. But LA Knight versus AJ Styles. So this has been they've kind of had a feud. Like he has been that hater. AJ Styles was that big hater where he went all the way to Australia and beat the shit out of LA Knight. Took a 15-hour flight just to get a chair and beat the shit out of him.
Almost fell off the earth.
Exactly, because I mean he thinks the world is a disc. If you didn't know, so I don't know. Did you guys see the clip of LA Knight invading AJ Styles' house, a la
Brian Pillman?
Brian Pillman, thank you.
His Christmas tree.
He didn't bring a gun though. That was kind of funny, and it kind of brought me back. I mean, they also did a little bit of that before. I think it was it Triple H went into Randy Orton's house and he came in with like a mallet.
I think
so they've done this.
That too.
Yeah, they've done this shtick a number of times in the past, but I always think it's pretty entertaining. You know, he comes in again. This is a crime that you're recording on television. If you're looking at this from just like a real world perspective, and then the cops, like the camera, they're like, "Okay, we're going to give it to you, WWE. Here's the footage of us arresting your WWE superstar." But if you turn your brain off and don't think about that, I still think it's funny. So I don't think that there was too much. There was a decent amount of buildup, but I don't know if it was enough to warrant this match, but I don't know where else you'd put them. I honestly thought that LA Knight was going to be in the United States Championship match, but I'm glad he's on WrestleMania. But you guys think LA Knight's winning this? Who's winning this match?
Yeah, get it to LA Knight.
Yeah.
I think he needs it.
Put one over AJ. I think AJ's
Yeah,
had
I'd say
enough.
so. I can go either or, but yeah, I think LA Knight more could definitely need it than
On Twitter today,
AJ.
he reposted the clip of him getting arrested and stuff, and he was like, "How about a gate instead of all those video games?" Oh, AJ.
See, I feel like LA Knight needs it more just because AJ Styles has been the champion before. He's been in he's just had a more decorated career, we'll say, in TNA, in WWE. Like he was a bona fide TNA star, and they also treated him like a main event star when he came back or when he arrived in 2016. I guess technically he came back because he was a wrestler for like a short stint in WWE in like 2002 or 3.
Working jacked and metal.
Yeah. So he doesn't need it. He's won the championship a number of times. He had a freaking feud with The Undertaker. They had a great match, the Boneyard match. Doesn't need it. LA Knight needs it.
Beat Cena clean a couple times.
Yeah, beat Cena clean 1, 2, 3 without any kind of shenanigans. So doesn't need it. I think he's a good person to go up against LA Knight, who I would like to hope that will win some kind of championship this year. I think he needs it and deserves it. He's like pushing 40, basically. He's 39, I think. But he can be, like Diamond Dallas Page and, win a title belt when he's older. So I think LA Knight's winning. I think we're all in agreement. Do we think there's any kind of match that will be added in these next 2 weeks that we're not thinking of? Or do we feel like this match card is already set? Because I can't think of anything else.
Jade Cargill's making her first appearance.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, you're right. Yep, you're right.
And then
they mentioned Jade Cargill, we forgot to mention, is officially signed to SmackDown. Man, Adam Pearce is fucking losing this brand match warfare if we're looking at just pure talent that he signed. He got Braun Breaker, he got Tiffany Stratton, he got Naomi back, and now he got fucking Jade Cargill. If we're looking at it from like a GM's perspective, like he got Raw.
He's in GM mode, baby.
He got CM Punk. I guess that's a pretty big draw. Like that's pretty awesome. But like he also has 4 up and coming stars. Which for long haul, if you're a GM, you want someone like that. So, do we think Jade Cargill is going to be in a tag team match, or is she in a singles match at WrestleMania?
It's got to be a singles. It's going to be Bianca Belair.
I think it's Bianca and Jade versus like the Kabuki Warriors because they don't have a match.
True, that's a good one,
right?
That's
for the
true.
tag team belts, I think that'd be a good match.
Yeah,
and it's a way for her, like if there is this thing where she's like still training, and maybe that's why they've been kind of like pushing her debut until like the last minute, if you want to say like 2 weeks before WrestleMania. Maybe putting her in a tag team match with someone else who can make everyone look good, like Bianca Belair, would be a good, smart move. I mean, I don't know, because Jade Cargill has been in AEW. It's been like her career was like Goldberg style matches, right? Or am I mistaken?
Yeah. She had Goldberg style matches until Sky Blue and Chris Statlander at the very end,
right? And then she left, right?
Yeah.
So I could see a tag team championship win in their future, especially if Bayley wins. Maybe that's the end of Damage Control. So that, I think, if we're trying to round out the card, that makes the most sense. Any other? Are we missing anybody else? I don't know. I feel like there's been so many that they've announced. Like Bobby Lashley, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Authors of Pain, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're getting like a WrestleMania opener match.
0 hour.
Karrion Kross. Bobby Lashley.
Fuck that piece of shit.
He's cool, but I don't know really where they're going with him. Especially because like if Authors of Pain just lost. Like,
overrated.
What are you supposed to do with
I feel like God, he's just been in such a start-stop gimmick thing. Like what are they called? The New Testament, the Next Testament, or whatever the fuck they're called.
The Final Testament.
Final Testament. Yeah,
They're
whatever.
a Wish.com ministry, I think.
Yeah, like what's
I
even
don't
going
know
on
what
with
they
them?
are.
They got military pants. Maybe they're Bullet Club or I don't know.
They can never be Bullet Club.
Yeah, fuck them.
So they don't really have a thing, but there was I think I don't know if it was WrestleMania. They gave like a before they started the predictions. They were like, these are a list of superstars that will just be enjoying catering at WrestleMania 40, and there was just like a scroll of like all the names, and they were one of them. I'm like, well, I mean, if I'm getting the check and I got some good food, who gives a fuck? Whatever. I'm at WrestleMania. I'm just enjoying the hors d'oeuvres.
As
I'm
God
at
intended.
WrestleMania. I'm just controlling the TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're gonna be next year's social media star, 2025 Slam winner.
That's a good thing to point out though about the Kabuki Warriors fighting them, because like I didn't even think about that. You're right. They're not, the fact that they'd be champions and they're not even on the card yet. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I think the women's tag team titles need that kind of extra push being at WrestleMania and
For sure.
having a great match. Like I think that's the other thing, putting them up against two people. Like Jade Cargill is an absolute star. Like regardless of what her wrestling ability is, or who knows, like I'm looking forward to her surprising us, but also just having that kind of caliber of talent, like winning the tag titles, or also even just simply for the fact of going up against those tag titles. And also like Kyrie and fucking Asuka are like legends in and of themselves. So I hope that's the
never
match.
wins at WrestleMania, right?
I think she retained. No, she lost it. I don't
She
She
remember.
lost like every time. I think she always loses.
Well,
Because
either
like
way,
people say she never really had a WrestleMania moment just yet, like where she actually won at WrestleMania. Like she may have gone in
she's
as
been in
champion, but,
WrestleMania, but yeah,
she's been, but,
I'd
like,
like
not
to
winning, though.
see. I'd like honestly, if they're debuting Jade Cargill, I don't think she can lose. So if they put them up against each other, I think that they're gonna win, and Asuka's just gonna lose again. But I don't think she minds. She had her own Goldberg streak. We just had this conversation that Goldberg's complaining that she had the longest streak in beer.
Asuka,
Her
girl
labs.
named Asuka,
Some Japanese girl, he said, or whatever.
some Japanese girl, yeah.
Some Oriental.
Good lord.
So like she's had her resume's plenty. So
Oh yeah.
I hope that's the match, and yeah, Jade Cargill deserves a WrestleMania main event. Well, that's a wrap for this episode of Chi-Town Shoot Podcast. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, rate us, and leave your feedback. Tune in next time for more wrestling madness. Until then, keep marking it.